So now I'm going to talk about book brands. And this is something that a lot of indies don't really think about right away, but actually I think it's a key to growth for the long term. And if you do it right, it can really, really help your book publishing business. And, a book brand is built around some aspect of your publishing. It takes a long time to build them. Usually it starts with a single title, but then it expands, although in some cases it might start with a series. It's recognizable to readers, and that's actually pretty critical because once they recognize it, then they'll come back for more. And some people are super loyal to their brands. There's a book called How to Cook Everything by Mark Bittman, and actually that's been expanded into a whole series of how to cook, vegetarian, how to cook, weekend cooking, all these different things that are associated with that single brand. And it's really, really a valuable thing to the publisher as well as to the author. And it leads to new opportunities and new readers. So examples might be for an author, like an author brand could be Walter Isaacson. I think he's a brand right now, as is Agatha Christie or Toni Morrison. So these people, they're very, very talented authors, and there's a brand around them that is actually really important for selling other types of books and maybe other types of things as well. Clifford the Big Red Dog, that's a classic character-driven brand. Oftentimes in like thrillers, you see brands built around, the tough guy or the clever assassin or whatever, Fiction series, Song of Fire and Ice, and that, of course, became the Game of Thrones. Nonfiction series, How to Cook Everything, which I just mentioned. Artwork, so Clifford the Big Red Dog, it's not just any big red dog, it's the big red dog that's drawn by that particular artist. And I think that was actually the author who wrote the book originally. Design, so for dummies books, if I say what's the design of a For Dummies book, and most people would be able to say right away, oh, it's black and yellow, and there's this pointy-headed, nerdy-looking kid on the front cover, and those are all true. That is the For Dummies design, and people know what it is. It's actually something quite familiar. In logos, that's another example for dummies. And I think actually they have some taglines associated with it as well. And they've trademarked it too. Here's an example of indies creating a brand. And this book is courtesy of Red Chair Press. They agreed that I could use this in my presentations. And basically what they've done is they've taken some classic fairy tales and redone them, making them slightly scary. And actually, you can see the brand up here. It's Scary Tales Retold. And the artwork is brilliant. It's very characteristic. You can tell that the person who drew this painting, they also drew this. And they made it a little bit different than the traditional family tales. They're a little bit funny and they're a little bit scary, but that's part of the brand. And it's actually quite brilliant. I think it's very, very successful and interesting. There's other brand opportunities as well. You can move to other media products. And let's just go to my own brand. This is my book brand in 30 minutes. As I said before, I have another brand, a spin-off brand, another media product called Cheat Sheets, and that's attached to the In 30 Minutes brand. Spin-off brands that are not books, and to give you an example, this is the genealogy sheets that my company created, and in another video in the Amazon totally free masterclass, I talk about how I came about to create that particular brand. Merchandise, which could be a t-shirt or a book, digital products, digital downloads. Some people, their brand actually turns into something that they turn into consulting or speaking. And I've done that to a limited extent with a book that I wrote about 5 or 6 years ago called Lean Media. And that's the basis of my current consulting brand. Education, other types of services that show off your expertise or are based on whatever you wrote about. But you may need to build up things like an author platform. So that's like a social media presence, a web presence, a mailing list. So people use different tools like MailChimp or Klaviyo to build up their mailing list. Design assets. So I have I have style sheets for my In 30 Minutes guides. Okay. And then also I have design assets. So that's basically the templates used for the cover here. And then you can see on the top here, I'm using these vector graphics that are also part of my particular design library. Trademarks. So my two main brands there, each of them are trademarked. And then also you may need to build up some other relationships inside and outside of publishing. So for instance, I use special graphic designers who typically do not work in publishing, but they help me design some of my logos. And I have For my cheat sheet brand, I have a local printer who we work very closely with. And then there's special Amazon programs you can take advantage of to help to accelerate your brand or your spin-offs.
I hope this video helped you a lot. If it did, please consider liking it and sharing it with other people. And also, there are many more videos in the totally free Amazon Masterclass. Hope to see you soon.